So, as you guys know, America is one of the top superpowers in the world. But to stay on top, we need to be teaching our youth more. We need to educate them better. And other countries are beating us now in 2018 at this, countries like China, Japan, and Finland. Today I'm going to be talking about the differences between America and Finland's education system. So, what makes Finland successful? Finland's successful because their teachers go through a rigorous preparation stage that American teachers don't go through. In America, teachers, some teachers don't even need to get a master's degree to be able to start teaching. In Finland, you have to get your master's degree and you have to take a 2-year course to prepare to become a teacher in Finland. And being a teacher in Finland is more popular. In their country, they have 54,000 teachers, and they only have 5 million people in population. Whereas America, there's over 400 million people here, and we only have 100,000 teachers. So there's something to be said about that. Schools in Finland are provided funding if they have a higher proportion of immigrants or students whose parents are undereducated or unemployed. I feel like this is a big deal because here in America, I see it even, with guys I know on the football team that might come from ghettos, and it's not like they're less intelligent than I am, but I've been fortunate enough to come from an area that's had more funding come to my school. And so since they don't have more funding come to their school, they can't articulate their thoughts as well as I can, and that's not because of their intelligence. And in Finland, they fund schools no matter how much money the people's parents have. This is a chart that shows how much teachers in America get paid. You can work 30 plus years and only get paid a little over $60,000 for the average in America. I know in California it might be more like $75,000, but that's just because of the cost of living. In Finland, it's actually the same, but in Finland, the cost of living is much lower. Study shows that in Finland, you can live well off of only $807 a month, so that's much less than in here. Finland schools are built on a culture of rigor. So some high schools in America, I wouldn't say they're built on a culture of rigor. There's students who try hard, there's students who don't try hard, but in Finland, it's expected to do well in school and try your best in school, and that's just the culture. According to Ripley in 2013, American educators described Finland as a silky paradise, a place where teachers are admired and all the children are beloved. So, according to that statement, that makes Finland schools just sound perfect. The students respect the teachers in Finland because in Finland, teachers are looked at how we would look at maybe a doctor or a lawyer in America. So they respect their teachers, which is a big deal, and the teachers respect the students. Also in Finland, students, they don't use technology like we do in school, which I like working with technology in school, but in Finland, they go off of paper and pencil and they work on the basics, and their test scores are higher than ours, so maybe there's something to be said about that. Students in America, we get judged off of testing. You have to take the ACT, you have to take the SAT just to get into college, where that's not the same in Finland. In Finland, suicide rates are lower. I feel like that might be due to the fact that students are less stressed. They don't get judged off of their test scores. They just go to school to learn, and since they have that rigorous culture, they don't have to worry about testing. Some similarities between the United States and Finland would be their school years are the same length as ours. And actually in kindergarten in the United States and Finland, the way they do testing is almost the same. So we start out on a good foot, but when you move up in America, it gets more stressful with testing and whatnot, and in Finland, they move away from testing. So, changes, obviously America needs to change for the better. Our test scores aren't reflecting our intelligence as a nation, and if we want to keep staying on top as a superpower, we need to teach our kids better.
That was a good answer. Anybody got something to say about that?
No. He just won the championship with that.
Oh, you cases on all that.
Shoot your shot on 2K19.
Shout out to 2019, that's my shot. Girl, she left your red. She left your red, girl.
But no. You supposed to Beyonce right here.
So Amanda, what did you think?
I said that it was really good. It was really well put together. I like that you had evidence and all of that, provided examples. And I like that when you were done, you kind of like turned off or like you ended and you kind of had the black screen, so like we can focus more on you. And I like the flow and the structure of the whole speech. It was really well put together. The only thing, maybe you should use like a card instead of having to go through the packet. That was the only thing really, and maybe like explain the graphs in more detail. But it was really good.
Yeah, the explanation of the graphs thing, I think, is probably one of the things that's problematic here. You've got some information up there that you present, but it's not always clear how it's related to the thing you're talking about. The teacher pay thing, I guess, is interesting. The notion that there seems to be an implication that if the teachers got paid more, that the students would do better. I don't know that that's the case. I think you picked out something that's pretty important here, that there is a difference in the culture. It's not just the schools, it's the culture that the kids and the parents and the teachers operate in, where they perceive a value there, and there's a strong desire, a rigorous culture as you describe it, where people live up to a particular standard. Look, if everybody is doing that and you're just keeping up with everybody around you, the testing thing seems a lot less important. When you have a bigger variation, then maybe it's a little bit more problematic. You kind of attribute it to money at some points, and I'm not sure that it's money that is the key factor. In some places it's definitely money if the schools lack resources, but a lot of the things have to do with the cultural things that you're talking about, that there's an expectation about what students are supposed to do and how they're supposed to act. What did you say? Did you say what the population of Finland is?
Yeah, it was 5 million.
5 million people. That's not a very substantial population. I mean, 5 million is a lot of people to you and me. If we were on the freeway and there were 5 million people in front of us, that would be a lot. And we're 400 million, did you say, in the U.S.? There you go. So we've got a lot more diversity in the culture than you get in Finland. So there might be some more of those kinds of problems there. The idea that you can look at some place and say, well, we need to be doing that. I'm sure that there are things that they're doing that we need to be doing that would be good for us to do, but I think there are a whole lot of other issues that are a part of this process as well. I thought it was nicely, there was a good preview, it was nicely set up, you had a good identification of what your topic was. I didn't hear the signposts in the body of the speech that got us to that second point, although I do think that you get to it because some of the visual materials are reminding us of what that information was going to be. The visual materials are pretty basic. Like I said, sometimes there's information here that could use a little bit more explanation, but there's something that's a little interesting to look at here and there. There's something that's got some information in it. It's distributed throughout the presentation, and you're trying to integrate it into the speech. I'd kind of agree with the comment that you got a second ago, that it's nice that you don't have it in the background when you're done with it. It's all blank, and then we're just focusing on you at the end. I think that that's a good way to try and do those sorts of things. Delivery-wise, I think you do a very good job with occasional dependence on the notes. And again, I'd agree maybe the cards would do better than the big piece of paper, which draws attention to the fact that you're using notes, whereas the card's a little bit less ostentatious and less likely to be distracting to us. But you talk to us for the most part, and you seem to know what it is you want to say. It's relatively well organized. I do think that you need to cite your sources more. You've got a lot of information here that you are presenting, and a lot of claims that you present without any data to support it. And that was the whole point of the first speech, or the last speech that we did, was to show that you can put information into the presentation. And I think you've got the information, but you're not connecting it, especially with the source citations. That, I think, is maybe the main issue here. All right, thank you.